Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of Getting Personal with Web3 Founders. I'm Jack, your host, and I'm excited to be here today with Basile, CEO and co-founder of Legends of the Past. I have a series of questions here today, including some from the HBAR community. Are you ready to get personal, Basile?
Absolutely, let's do it. It's going to be fun.
All right, let's go. So the first one is, who were you before Web3, before Legends of the Past? Who was Basile?
Well, Neil and I, we've been working closely together for the last 5 years into building mobile games. Basically, our story started, 5 years ago, while I was still, studying in a French business school. At that time, I wanted to create an educational mobile game. I had read a book about neuroscience and how the brain worked, and this book was telling you a lot about video games as a way to catch the attention and foster knowledge. Anyway, started to code a little bit on my own, discovered Unity, did some stuff, but quickly my prototype was not enough engaging, and I contacted engineering school. I met Neil. We had a beer. We really liked each other, and I showed him what I've already coded on my own. And the following day, we started working together. And so for the first 3 years before getting into Legend of the Past, we were a mobile gaming studio. So we were incubated in a tech incubator in Paris, and our focus was on mobile gaming. What we did is we created a Subway Surfer kind of gameplay based on history, based on World War I, World War II. The concept was to create a mobile game that, on the one hand, was fun to play. We have a sense of progression. It was a real mobile game that was engaging, and at the same time, you would learn some stuff about World War I, World War II, and basically we were working with French middle schools that would use our video game in class. And so our first experience was related to obviously mobile gaming, but also history. But progressively our company was getting into, I would say, a more educational space where we were maybe moving from creating IPs and a gaming experience more into something that was only linked to education in schools. And so after this a couple of times, we thought, okay, we want to get back to basics. We want to go back to purely a global scale gaming, to create a game for your community, and not a nice to have tool for teachers, but something that has a lot of value for your players, for your users. And at that times we were deeply into Web3 with Neil, but not from a professional point of view, more personal. We're using some of our computers to actually mine Ethereum, and so it was a fun way to us to make extra money out of it. And seeing all of what was going on in the Web3 gaming space were interesting, and we liked the idea of creating a game but with your community, so that your players are also here at the beginning. And progressively we took a lot of time to analyze the space, to discuss with many players and venture capital, explaining us the pros and the cons and how we could leverage Web3 and how to build something sustainable. And progressively all of those started. And so that was 2 years ago. We started the Web3, moving from a only gaming studio to a Web3 gaming studio 2 years ago. 2 years, yeah.
Interesting. So have you always been a gamer at heart? Before the gaming studio, who was Basile?
So yes, but I wouldn't say that I'm honestly not the pure gamer. Neil, for instance, himself is the true gamer. I was passionate with video games, but more, I would say, from a technological point of view, meaning that the concept of creating a 3D experience in which people get entered, it's a journey. And the concept of creating something that was on the one hand fun. You can spend hours in it because it's a place where you feel comfortable, where you're having fun, you are doing some socials with your friends. And at the same time, to me, in a video game, you can create something more to it. It's not only having fun or breaking things, but that's why we started with educational games about history. All of those, to me, you can have a solid game design pillars that is based on something. And that's what we want to achieve with Legend of the Past, playing with people that have shaped history. It's not an educational game. You're going to have fun, but we want you to that your content you are playing with resonates with something you may have learned in school in the past. We want you to create some links, some back and forth, and that to me creates an experience that can like move people and drive them further.
Nice. I love that. Interesting. All right. And how would you describe what you do now to a family member? Like the work you do in Web3 now, when you get asked by a family member, maybe your grandmother, how would you explain in simple terms what you do so they could grasp it?
Yeah, it's funny because I often discuss this with my grandfather, as a matter of fact, and he never understands because he's like, how can you like, how can you like for instance create a project, sell it to your community through NFTs, although it's not finished, and like to him it's like it's and like the concept of an NFT or something that is like belongs to you. You have a true sense of ownership, but on the other hand, is like somewhere like and not attached, like, not physically like present in your in your wallet, but something that is like digital. That concept he doesn't understand. So like how would I explain it? I would say like this, that we are building a mobile game that try and that has the potential to attract a large audience of players all around the world, all around the cultures, with the gameplay that is engaging. And we're also building this project with our early supporters, early fans that are on the one hand investing through NFTs, but also providing us feedbacks and helping us grow. And so to me, the true core of Web3 gaming is not about earning token magically or creating something that will instantly, like make you rich or stuff like that. We have a lot of games, a lot of people who are speaking about this. To me, the true power of blockchain in a video game is about digital ownership, but moreover, it's also community-based engagement. So yeah, that's what I would answer to my father, to my grandfather.
Nice. And shifting gears a little bit into your personal life, what does a morning routine look like for you?
What does a morning routine? Well, it depends at what time I stop, because sometimes I can have like calls in the US or Twitter Spaces that can happen like at like 2 a.m. stuff like that. And so sometimes when it's like super late, it's difficult, because like usually when you have a Twitter Space at like 2 a.m., like you get so passionate doing this.
Oh, yeah.
So as long at the moment it's over, like 2:30, you have to go back to bed. But like since you were speaking, like as I am right now, like in a fast pace and a lot of engagement, trying to go to bed after like a 1 hour and a half to the space is very difficult. But so in the morning, what I like to do that's like pretty recently in the last like 3 months, I like to start the day by having a coffee, on outside, like because like I live in Paris, in the middle of Paris. So what I sometimes do, like I grab a coffee bowl and I go outside. I go on the near the river, like just down by my apartment, and I just like chill for like 10 minutes outside with the sun on my face. And then like, I try to focus on what is important, what should be my focus like on the day. Like this, it clears my head a little bit. And because what's difficult about what we are currently doing in our company is that there are so many things that we need to be focused all together. You have the relations with our community, like community engagement, discussing with them, explaining them the project, driving utility. So community relationships. We also have building, but when it comes to building, technically we are building many things, because we are building the game, which is huge. Building a mobile game on Unity takes so much time, effort, money, a lot of people working all together. But also we also have the Hedera technical development, when we are like creating our main site, when we are right now also launching the Clio committee website with some utility attached to it. So you have all of those aspects. And then you also have like the project meetings, like internal meeting with the team, doing like back and forth, some feedbacks, like setting the right goals for like marketing, for game production, for like also for like our relationship to vendors. We are working with like freelancers and people that are been working for us for more than a year, but are not internal people in the company. So we have to drive those missions. And attached to that, we also have the relationship with our private investors, looking for more funding. And then, so anyway, doing a lot of those stuff together. So in the morning, I like to spend like 5 to 10 minutes, like closed eyes in the sun, and just it's a very pleasant moment. But then I said, okay, what's the focus of the day? And like this, I organize, my calendar, because again, we are solicited on multiple fronts. So now, well, it means that there is something going on. So I like this, energy. But what's difficult is now we have to make choices of where to be, which action to do, because we cannot do all of those. So we have to prioritize which is more important for the sake of the company, the sake of the community, and in the midterm or long term. Because we don't want to do like only like short term strategies. Obviously, we have to think of the long term, so that so that we grow as a gaming studio.
Nice. I like that. It's a great reminder, I think, for everyone, because we can easily get stuck in the head, right, of like what I planned yesterday for today. But if every morning
Exactly.
you can stop and breathe and just see
Exactly.
what
Because
you
sometimes you can like start something that feels important at the moment, and you think, okay, I absolutely have to like finish this presentation because, well, this VC is going to love it, so I have to do it. So I'm going to spend like 5 hours working on that. And then on the next day you say, okay, it's important to take a step back sometimes to say, okay, is this the most important thing that I have to do right now, or is it something that I want to do because I started to do it yesterday? So it's good to take a step back to prioritize.
Nice. I like that. All right. So tell me about the most inspiring and influential person in your life and how they impacted you.
So again, I did not know any questions, so I really have to think right now. I'm not faking it. So the most influential person. Okay, on which level, like, do you mean? Like related to, like, I don't know, Hedera, personal, like people that yeah. Which what kind of
I would say
person are you?
more like on your personal life, but I would also say like the first thing that comes to mind as well, whatever pops for you.
I think, well, I know there is, one of our, like, my was like 6 years ago, but when I was, so I did a business school, specialized in data analysis and artificial intelligence. And I had, a teacher that, like, was supporting me a lot when I was only on my own, starting to code and doing the first version of my educational, game. I think that guy was highly, like, motivational, like back then, but still today, like once every 6 months we have a coffee to discuss. And like he's helped me, like a lot of motivation, but more than motivation, like, okay, setting, like free some constraints and barriers. Because basically, like back then, 5 years ago, when we started to work and say, okay, do I want to do this, like, and not, like apply to jobs or other people, all of my friends were doing, but do like a bet on myself on something like that. And he told me, like, he, like opened my eyes and said, okay, you're absolutely free, you can do whatever you want, spend 1 year. If it doesn't work out, you can move around and do something else. And like he had done it in the past. And so having this kind of mentor, I would say, was highly helpful, because he helped me, do the right decisions, and like taking some risk at some points. And also something that I've always, like liked about that guy is having, like clear, 6 months goals. And so discussing with him was highly motivational. So this, teacher, his name is
Nice.
Grégoire.
Yeah, I had the word mentor in my mind. Like it's another
Yeah,
great reminder that there's key moments in our life when a mentor can really open that next door, right, or help us open that next door in our lives or our professional career.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
all right, nice. So let's shift back to LOP, which has been your biggest challenge so far at Legends of the Past for you personally?
My biggest challenge. Okay, first one I would say regarding the project. Okay, again, well, we have very fortunate. We are very lucky because we have some people working on LOP that come from the best studios, people that have worked on amazing, IPs. And what was very like challenging but highly motivating is we actually, that was like way before we started Discord and Twitter. But like when we started working on LOP, we iterated for like 7 to 9 months on the gameplay. It's okay, what do we want to build? Because we wanted to create something new, something fresh, because like there are a whole variety of games that are just like copies of games that may have proven themselves in the like on the app store, and just like copy and paste all the games. But if it doesn't have uniqueness, if it's not different, if it's not something fresh, people won't play it. Having NFTs inside of it, it's not, it's not enough. You have to create something new. And I remember the first 7 months, we iterated a lot on the gameplay, and we were working so closely, like Neil, Kim, our art director, but also Marvin, our lead game designer, discussing the four of us and doing some back and forth and iterating on different kind of gameplay. Sometimes it was like 2D games, sometimes 3D games, sometimes it was like auto chess kind of gameplay. Sometimes you have a lot of controls, and we iterated a lot, and that was highly challenging because after 6 months, okay, how can we not find something different, something unique, And so that was because we did not want to do something that replicate somebody else or the games, because I know that it's not going to work, and creating something unique was highly challenging, but that was very fun at the same time. And at the end of those 7 to 9 months process, when we actually were starting something new and say, okay, let's try something else, what we are currently being built for the last year, that was amazing. Okay, now we have something that is different, and that first feeling, the first emotion that you have when you start playing the prototype and you say, okay, finally we have something. Before it was just copying and trying some other stuff, it was not moving the needle. So that first a challenge was that was a great thing at the end, but during that point it was stressful. So, okay, we have to find something that is different. We have find something that will move people around and engage only based on the gameplay, because to me, and that's a sentence of one of our advisor, also / mentor. His name is Cedric Maréchal, great guy, spent 25 years at Blizzard, amazing guy about marketing and creating IPs. And he has this sentence about content is king, that your game, whether it be Web3 or Web2, you have to have beautiful gameplay and something that is different. And so I was always, listening to this sentence, content is king. How can we have something that is different, that will drive players into our game just because they see a video of the gameplay, on Instagram or something like that? Not because there is NFTs or token rewards inside of it, because otherwise you only attract short-term investors that will not make your game sustainable.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. All right, we're going to bring it back to you with one of the craziest things you've ever done.
One of the craziest things I've ever done. Okay, let me think, because I have to think. Again, I did not know the question before. One of the craziest things I've ever done. Okay, that was fun. One time I flew. I went to Milan, in Italy, to meet just like that, because I had a discussion with someone, on LinkedIn, an intro. There was another gaming studio that is now tech incubator in Station F. They were raising also at that time with business angels, and I discussed with sometimes super quickly on LinkedIn based on an intro of a mutual friend, and he was in Milan for a couple of days. That was the next day, and just like that, it was I don't know if it's a relevant example, but just like that, I took an airplane. I had a friend who was living in Milan, so I could sleep at her place. But just like that, the next day I was in Milan and actually meeting the guy, and so that was a sudden a move, but that was pretty fun to do. And it turned out very well, because we are still working with that person afterwards.
Nice. Yeah, stepping into that spontaneity.
Fun. Yeah.
That intuition or that spontaneity that just came through.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. But okay, do I have something else? Let me think. Is because I love craziness. I love to do stuff a little bit different. I love to do stuff and say, okay, because I believe that to have ambition, you have to be bold, and you have to accept to do stuff in a different approach, to take some risks. So I know sometimes, I've contact. Okay, same goes for, I don't know if it's spontaneous, but I saw that Lemon Bird was in Paris, during the proof of talk, event in July. And when I saw that, I said, okay, I have to meet him. So I bought, a ticket, but it was pretty expensive, but I don't care. I had the opportunity of seeing the guy that motivated us to start bidding on Hedera. And so I took, some tickets. I went there, and then, I attended to his conference. And at the end, I was waiting, in the cocktail zone, because eventually he would pop in. And so I love do some stuff like that, because you have to move forward. And when you do those kind of when you take those kind of risks, well, beautiful stuff can happen afterwards. So it's important to take some risk like that.
Yeah, I think people could consider that a crazy move. How can you just drop everything and just go and do something because you kind of had the idea in the moment, and you just go for it, right? So
Yeah.
you take that risk. Yeah.
I like taking risks, but I think it's important to also measure the risk and say, okay, will this, like jeopardize or do something like bad for the company or something like that? Obviously, you have to weigh the pros and the cons before any decisions. And also, I like sometimes, so we are creative people. We like to do different kind of stuff, whether it be like for Legend of the Past. Before we created many like side projects, like fun side project. But it's important that whenever you start something new, to measure the potential and the success, and not like don't have any ego and say, okay, this is not a good idea, okay, fine, let's not do it. We started, it was fun, but let's not spend like years in trying to achieve something based on ego. If the market doesn't react to it, it means that it's not a good idea. Fine, let's move forward and do something else. It's important to be resilient, to iterate on different kind of stuff.
Nice, I love that. All right, back to Legends of the Past. Where would you like to see LOP in 5 years?
I want to have multiple games, because like Legend of the Past is an IP, an intellectual property. So right now we are building the mobile game Legends of the Past, but the way that we see it is like it's such a strong theme, and such a strong theme that this IP can be like declinated in like multiple games, mobile or other kind of platforms. But moreover, I also want to have integration with other blockchain based, like DApp, for instance, metaverses. And that's some stuff that we are like, whether it be like on HBAR, on other metaverse, on HBAR, but also in global scale, because there are many, like projects. For instance, we are very close as French person to a Sandbox, ecosystem, and they are like building a great metaverse. And so we are already in contact with them like closely. And what would be amazing, for instance, in 5 years is that we have our mobile game that is like running a lot of engagement. We have a lot of people participating in the tournaments. We want to onboard like Web2 players, like gamers. I don't like the word Web2 because there is an opposition between Web2 and Web3. But yeah, I would love to have like, we want to have gamers progressively entering our tournaments, seeing that there are some Web3 rewards that are financial rewards attached to it, but it's part of a community, and we want them to understand this kind of engagement and enter our community on Clio committees or other Legends committees, participate in those events. So we want to have this blend of token rewards through like our tournaments, but also a gaming experience that is based on community engagement. So this kind of purely on the mobile game, but overall, as I said, I want to declinate, the IP on other like simple games on web-based, for instance, or other platforms, like on Steam's, for instance. But I mentioned metaverses. Would love to have like a big, Legend of the Past arena on, like in Earthlings, or like in Sandbox. And what could be amazing is have this experience token gated, so like people who are member of our like Legend committees could enter this kind of arena. In Earthlings, it could be something based on our IP, but obviously non-violent. But on other, like in Sandbox, we could have another kind of gameplay. We could have, for instance, a VR experience that is based on our IP, but accessible, elsewhere. So the way that I see it is, I believe that we are a very strong brand. We are a gaming company, but we are a very strong brand behind what we are currently building. And there are tons of possibilities in our game, our multiple games, but also in partnerships with other like entertainment. And the last part would be also animation. There are great stuff that is occurring, and many like the successful, gaming IPs declinated, in animation, animation movies, and building something and building, like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, pilot of a kind of experience in the Heaven of Legends, where we have all of our historical characters that are, moving around and, battling around in the arena, but we have a strong lore attached to the game, and that lore could be the pillar of an animation, series. So that could be something that we would love to do in the long run.
I love it. Yeah, it sounds more like you say, a gaming company, but also an IP company or an IP business, right? And all these infinite possibilities that come with that. It's very, very exciting. Especially the interoperability, right, between different chains and different ecosystems. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, now I have a few fun questions from the community.
Okay.
This one's from New. Do you play any sports?
Yeah, I play soccer on a weekly basis, like every Monday night. Every Monday night, I go to a soccer practice with some friends. I play, like 5 against 5, so it's a small
Ah,
field. Yeah.
yep.
So yeah, I do that, every Monday. And sometimes I used to play a lot of tennis before. Now I don't have much time, but sometimes during the summer when I am fortunate enough to find a partner, or if it's sunny outside, I like to play tennis. But like more soccer on a weekly basis. Sometimes soccer. I used to run a little bit. Sometimes I used to go to the gym also as well with Neil. So that's back and forth, but what's consistent is soccer once a week and sometimes other sports. And I think that's also important. In our studio, we are all fan of sports. Like Neil goes to, to go to the gym. He also went climbing for 5 years. Kim goes to the gym on a daily basis. Like a couple of months ago, we actually did, 1 week at Kim's place in the north of France. And there we would go to the gym every morning. Like at 7 a.m., we would go to the gym, starting the day like 7 to 9, 2 hours of gym was insane. But all of the people working in our company, we have people, working in Thailand, we have people working in north of France, we have people working, like in Spain, so another one in Japan. But all of us are, well, it was not, foreseen, but all of us love sports. All of us, do some sports, on our, like, it's important to, clear your head. As I said, in the morning, I like to spend the 5 to 10 minutes outside thinking of my day to clear my head. Same goes with sports. When I spend like 1 hour playing soccer, afterwards, my mind is clear. And that's something that we all share in our gaming studio. We love sports. We are passionate about it. And I think it's important for your well-being.
Yeah, for sure. And are you a striker or you at the
Yeah.
back? Yeah,
No,
I thought you
I'm
were
a
a striker.
striker.
I had a
Yeah.
feeling.
But I like to play, on the left. Like sometimes I play, like a number 9, so like a striker. But sometimes I play, and that's what I played last night. Striker, but on the left, like this, you can, like strike, but also do the passing. I don't like only doing striking. I like a little bit of both. Yeah.
Nice. All right. This next one's from Sebastian. Do you have a girlfriend, Basile?
No. I used to. I was in a relationship for a lot of years already, but we separated some months ago.
I guess my follow-up was going to be, do you, are you looking for a girlfriend or are you too busy? Because I know what being a founder means. So
Yeah.
like, is it more of a focus and choice right now, or are you just kind of letting things be and whatnot? That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a funny question. First of all, I would say it's a little bit sad, but one of the reason we split up was also like I was like too focused on my company. And the thing is, it's difficult, and like having those kind of discussion with someone saying, okay, do you have to choose? Because I remember, okay, I hope she's not gonna see it, but I remember that was like before Web3 was our first games. I remember like when we submitted, our app to the App Store. It's a long process, like you upload, you have some feedbacks, and it takes a lot of time. Like I was the one coding, like Neil is working on PC, I'm coding on Mac, so I was the one with Xcode, so I was the one submitting, to the App Store. And I remember spending like 3 hours parametering, and every time you tried to do a build and set it, there was an error, you have to go back. So anyway, it was highly stressful. We had to ship the game on that date. And so I was spending 3 to 4 hours doing that. So I was late. I was supposed to arrive at like 9 p.m. At 8 p.m. and I arrived like 1 hour later. And I remember like us getting into this huge, fight about me not, honoring, our engagement. And I was trying to explain that, okay, submitting something to the App Store, well, to also like it's something that is challenging, difficult, but also, well, I had to do it. And so anyway, I don't want to get into too much details, but like it was a bit difficult to do like both things, and so right now, being fully focused on NLP, I would say it's honestly amazing, because right now I can and it's a bit sad on the other hand as well, but I can choose my time between fully being immersed in my work. And at the moment that I'm done, I can like close my computer and then like do some sports or like meet some friends that live like next doors. Whereas it's difficult to be like fully immersed in like both both kind of stuff. And the last thing that I would like conclude about that is I truly believe that the base relationship you have and you create, they occur when you don't expect them to. That's why like I'm not really like looking for anything, but because I also know that when you're not looking, you are truly being yourself 100%. And when you are truly being yourself, you are also attracting people that like you and appreciate you for what you really like. And my previous relationships all started like that, in context where I did not want to have anything because it was not something that I was like looking for, and stuff happened without you wanting it, and it's like too strong, and so you cannot fight it, and that's when you create something that is beautiful. And so like I would say that I am in this current mindset, truly focused on my work, very happy in my life because I can balance my time whenever I want, and spend all of my energy on Legend of the Past, and also believing that I like like the idea of karma and things like walking around in the world. And so that I believe that when you're true to yourself, you're attracting people that are appreciating you for what you truly are. Don't know if it makes sense.
Amazing, really beautiful. I appreciate Sebastian there for the question, because it brought some beautiful insights there on relationships and life in general, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Nice. The next one is a funny one. It's Phil.
I'm stressed because like every time there's a question, it's okay, how am I'm going to answer, because I have no idea what are the list of the question.
This one's funny. It got me giggling when I saw it on Twitter. Anyway, what is your favorite meal outside of the tartiflette?
Tartiflette. Yeah, that's Phil. Love him. He's a great guy. I love
his energy.
Yeah, he's so much passion. He's a beautiful guy. My favorite meal. I think I'm a quite simple guy when it comes to like food. I like regular like pastas. I like to cook and to create some fun sauces, sauce like with garlic, with onions. Try some stuff with some herbs like basil and stuff like that. But like I like like to cook pasta and to iterate some like fun pasta with different sauce. Yeah, so that would be like my easy question.
Nice. Italiano likes his pasta. I'm currently in Italy, so I'm seeing a lot of pasta at the moment where I am.
Amazing.
I love pasta as well. Do you make fresh pasta? Have you tried making fresh pasta?
No, making them on my own. No. Like I can cook fresh pasta, like purchasing the already fresh pasta and then implementing the sauce. But no, I'm not. No.
Nice, but homemade
eventually
it's becoming rarer and rarer. I feel like good homemade food, like it's getting lost. So it's always nice to meet people that still like to cook at home. Do you find it's rare? Like, do you have many friends that still cook of your age?
It depends. I would say like most of my friends would say like they cook, but like not every day, because like people like have their lives. I have a lot of friends who work like in finance and stuff, who like ends work until super late, so like they have their food purchased by their company. But I would say that some of my friends, I mean, maybe not the most, but some of my friends still cook.
Nice.
French guys.
It's where it was born, right? The French cuisine, like
maybe.
I mean, when I studied at university, I studied the roots of cooking, which is from France essentially. So it makes sense that people still cook over there. Nice. And to finish up, that's the end of the questions. But I always like to ask at the end, what's one question you wished I'd asked, if there is one, and how you would have answered it?
Okay. Again, I don't know any of the questions, so I have to improvise. So the question is, what question would I want to answer? So regarding being personal.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think. I would not say, okay, I think I can answer something, but I don't know what is, like, maybe while I'm answering, the question will arise, but like it's related.
That's cool.
What I love about our community like HBAR overall and also the Legend of the Past community is like I believe that people are understanding what we are building. And I like that, like, okay, for instance, in the last 2 weeks, we're a little bit less, active on Discord and Twitter and whatnot, but because like we are actively building, like elsewhere. And sometimes, like obviously it's Discord. So you can see people saying like, when is season 3, when is gameplay reveal, floor price, blah, 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 blah. But what I believe in, like in our communities, people are understanding the quality of what we are currently building, that we are here in the long run, and that like we are, and I feel like sometimes I've seen some people like defending ourselves and say, okay, people ask a question and all of our community members answering like in beautiful manner. I don't have any kind of precise examples, but like having this support of people understanding where we are, that motivates us a lot. Because again, and I started like with this, it's so difficult to be on all of those, like front, because sometimes if you're only doing, an NFT collections and you want to add attached utility to that, well, you create something very strong with your community on Discord progressively on a daily basis, and then you try to build a little bit something on top of it. Ourselves, it's different, and it's difficult to be elsewhere because we are an enterprise. We are a company incorporating, paying taxes, working with people working for us internally, out and outernally, and all of those with relation to private investors, building a game that costs a lot of money, a lot of resource to develop. So we have to be everywhere, and sometimes it's difficult to be everywhere, but it's important to move slowly on each, area that makes most sense at the moment. And what I love about our community, and so again, I don't have a really a question behind it, but I love that our strong believers, our like early supporters and strong believers, understand our positioning, understand that we are working and doing as much as we can to create something progressively. And I like, like the sentence, like sometimes there is like less noise but more concrete actions, And to me, like, and we speak about this, in in your Kabila weekly, space, on Thursday. But what I love in this bear market is, well, what I really love is there is less noise. Like you have obviously some flippers and people who are not really interesting, but you have true believers, people who understand that is the backbone of technology and there is something moving around here. And this, having this kind of good, like if we were in a bull run at the moment, okay, there will be like more engagement on secondary markets, more sales of direct sales and stuff like that. But we would maybe less focus on the game, less focus on the relationship with our teams. And like this, I feel that we have this kind of relationship where people understand that we are here in the long run. People understand that we are building something new, something, fresh, and people are understanding, are defending ourselves. So that's amazing, and I love, and that motivates us, on a daily basis, seeing our community members defending us and understanding that we are building something in the long run. That's highly motivational.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I mean, hat off to you guys for creating that culture, right? That you've been there daily, weekly for the past months with the community, building that culture together with them, and these are the fruits of that community building. So the question that's come from that is, what do you love most about the LOP community?
Oh yeah,
that's
perfect, exactly.
and I think that's a really beautiful point to finish on. It's been really, really fun talking with you today, Basile.
Likewise,
And I hope
as
the
always.
community enjoys getting personal with you.